want to try to stay away from numbers as best I can. I think it's been reported the type of season we had statistically relative to everything else that transpired within our league and even in the non-conference. I've been on the road literally every hour except the last 8 hours since our season ended. And similar to last year, I'm not very good at saying goodbye in any sort of way, and that's probably the best way for me to handle it is just go back to work. I think that the cumulative force, the force of our character was cumulative. That's Ralph Waldo Emerson, Todd.
Who's that?
And you know, when you think back to 15 of our 33 games were decided by 4 points or less, and you think back to all of the things that were said about our team prior to the season, and then those things somewhat carrying even more weight the way we started the Big East season, and then for our season to parlay itself out the way that it did, I think we went out the same way we got in. We got in because of one possession wins, and we went out the same way, and maybe that's fitting. I think that our seniors were outstanding in their leadership off the floor, and I think that translated to a selfless team on the floor. And I think that there's a lot of really good players in Division I, a lot of high major, have a chance to play for a long time somewhere, making some sort of money. But I think Lazar, Hayward, you know, there's players that can play, and there's players that make plays at winning times. And you just, as I think back to all of the games and all of the shots and all of the one-possession games, Czar just made winning play after winning play after winning play. And when he didn't, we had guys on our team that stepped up and did. Kubi goes 6 for 6 against Georgetown, that type of game. And I think that that just speaks to who our guys are. And I think that it was shown more so than any team I've ever been a part of. I think our character was revealed, and that's something we say in-house all of the time. But I think that it was revealed outwardly, and that's what I think makes all of us proud in the right way, not in an egotistical way of how the season played itself out.
When you take into account what you guys have coming back next year and what you have coming in, what kind of team do you envision being on the floor for you?
I hope that we have more choices. That would be the first thing. As best I could, I tried to manage what we had, and I think that our team best understood what we had, and that's what gave us a chance every night. But I think to continue to play past spring break, you have to have more choices, and you have to have more options. And that doesn't mean that they have to be great players, but dependent upon time, score, and momentum of a game, dependent upon how a team plays, are they a zone team, a man team, a fast team, a slow team, a big team, a little team, you got to have more choices. And I think that it's just like every other coach would say, it's a critical spring and summer. We're having individual workouts as soon as this is over. We can't give a day away. Chris Otule has progressed a great deal. His body has changed. He's much more mobile. He's much more confident. The flip side of that is he's yet to play in a meaningful game and play meaningful minutes in a meaningful game. So he continues to need work to get to that point. I think Joe Fultz, arguably, in addition to the one-possession games, how he played over the last month of the season contributed to us still playing. But he's got to get better. If he's going to be a senior and have a distinct niche on our team, not for 1 month, but from start to finish, the spring and summer is important. Dwight Bikes, I thought was really good early. I thought his game tightened in a good way. I didn't think he was quite as loose as the season went on. But, you know, he got sick and got the upper respiratory and missed a game and then didn't play the next game. And I just didn't think he ever got in a rhythm, although I thought he was good in spots against Washington. I thought he was good in spots when we were in New York. Junior Cadogan, what's he going to be? How much weight can he lose? I really like Junior's game, and I never want to discount the fact that prior to him coming here that summer, he never lost a game. But I think him being able to play, even though it was spot minutes, contributed to us still being able to play. But as best he could, he understood the pressures involved, and I think that is the most positive of him coming out of his red shirt, because he understood the intensity of what was happening and the value of every possession. With that being said, the spring and the summer is critical to him. Whenever Hughes can get healthy enough, we need to figure out if he can work and if he can gain weight and if he can survive an individual workout. I think that, among all of the freshmen, he had a niche sooner than anybody else when we played the zone and we played him at the top. I like some of the things that he can do, but is he going to be durable enough to withstand the rigors of our league? And being that he played spot minutes and then was hurt, that counts as a year just like it did with Chris last year. I really like the guys that we signed. I think that they help us. We've got to sign some more. What position? We need a big guy, Buzz. We can't advance without a big guy. I understand. We need really good players is what we need. There wasn't a big guy on Washington's team. The deal with Washington was they had 11 high major players and they played 10 of them. That's what beat us. And so, we just need to keep working, and we need to keep working to add to our recruiting class, but we also need to keep working with the same fierceness with our returning players, because you're only as good as your returning players, and that's why we were picked 12th, because everybody thought Mo and Kubi were low major players, and everybody thought Zara was a second-team all-conference player, and nobody knew the rest of us. And so we'll be picked about the same place next year, but because I've said it so often times, a lot of the coaches in our league will have an edge about, well, we'll show Buzz, so they'll pick us higher than we deserve, and that's just how it plays out.
Who improved the most from start to finish? What player?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
What player, in your mind, improved the most from start to finish?
It's hard to argue that somebody did more than what Jimmy Butler did in comparison to last year to this year. He didn't really have a choice. That's part of it. But I think that Joe Fultz really went from not having a niche to having a niche and being successful in that niche. And because we had such limited options, when he could play 10 or 12 minutes, that was so valuable because it allowed Jimmy either to play the 3, and we were a legitimate bigger team, or he could rest, or Czar could rest. Some of those times he didn't have a choice because those guys were in foul trouble. But, I would say it would be between one of those two guys.
When you saw what Washington did to New Mexico, did that make it sting even more?
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't handle it very well. I know I should, and I hope that as I get older I will. It's another one-possession game. You're up 15 with however many minutes to play, and then it was just an avalanche. And, they were averaging 13 offensive rebounds. They had 1 or 2 at half, and then they have 7 for the game, and I think 3 of those 7 came on 2 of the last possessions. Pine Dexter shoots the ball, misses, and then the trail official calls the foul after the ball's already hit the rim and we have possession. Just turnover after turnover, too many turnovers, about the average number of turnovers, but not for our team in the second half. I just thought we were dominated physically on the perimeter. And with all that being said, it was still a one-possession game. So not to be disrespectful to New Mexico, I think they have really good players, and Coach Alford has always been a really good coach. He may not have always been perceived that way despite their record, but I think he's a good coach. But I would definitely like to be watching tape on West Virginia again as opposed to talking to you guys.